welcome to A Web of Stories. My name is Melinda and I am here with my weekly reading vlog. As you can see, I'm in my setup that indicates my daughter is not around. She's at school right now. I'm just doing this now because I wanted to get it done with so I could post it earlier in the day. And also I'm going to be filming a video with her, or she's going to be behind the camera, but this afternoon that is going to show up either this week or next. It kind of depends on if I get a tag done for this week, this coming week. But there's nothing wrong. She's just at school. The tag thing, Randy at Literate Texan tagged me in a tag that I'm really excited to do. And I will be doing it. It's just one that kind of requires a little bit of thought. And I'm not sure I'm gonna have time to kind of sit down and plan it out before Tuesday. So it might not show up until the following Tuesday, in which case you'll see the video that I'm gonna do this afternoon. If not, you'll see that next week. See how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna let the vlog go and then I will come back with kind of a summary of my week and some things I'm looking forward to. And then after that, I'm gonna have a little, well, I'll tell you what it is when I get to my little wrap up. I'll tell you what's gonna be on after the wrap up. So stay tuned. Good morning. It is Saturday, April 22nd. Yeah, that's right, 22nd. Very unmade face. So happy Earth Day. I woke up today to Earth Day to a broken hot water heater. So no shower for me, no makeup. I called someone, hopefully they will call back soon, but otherwise my husband's dealing with it right now. Today's gonna be a busy day. I'm hoping to get some reading done. I can't guarantee anything though, because I'm going to coffee with some friends this morning. And then this evening from 5 to 10, I have a Girl Scout training for a camp we're going to in 2 weeks. It's not actually for me, it's for my daughter and like the other girls in her troop who I have not even gotten confirmation that they're going to attend. Supposedly it's a mandatory training, but they want me there so the other girls can see me because I'm going to be an adult at this camp. I'm on our Girl Scout service unit team, so I'm only going to stay positive. You know, waking up to a broken hot water heater does not put you in the best mood, but there you go. So anyway, that's my day today. I'm still reading all the books I talked about in my weekly vlog yesterday. I'd like to finish The Hike this weekend. So I've already decided that after this, I'm going to read the next Ruth Galloway book. So yeah, that's what's going on in my world. Hopefully I'll get some reading today. Hopefully your Earth Day is a little more joyous and warm and not gray and rainy and hot water and more hot watery than mine. Good morning. Today is Saturday, April 23rd, and I'm tired, but I had a hot shower today. We got our shower fixed, so that's good. I was at this Girl Scout training last night that I did not need to be at, just want to say that, but I was there for 5 hours, and I didn't bring a book. I did end up doing some helping with stuff, but I also just downloaded one of my Kindle short stories. It's one by Ruth Ware called Snowflakes. Anyway, it was interesting. It fit the bill. I read it. So, hey, that's one more book on my month. But, oh my goodness, that meeting should have been an email. Well, actually, no, I just shouldn't have been at that meeting, that training. I didn't need to be there, but oh well, it is what it is. It is Wednesday, April 26th. I'm in my backyard because now, the year of our Lord, April 26th, almost May, spring has finally decided to come to Oregon. You see our trees are starting to bloom. They're usually blooming late March. Like they're in full bloom late March, and they're just, this apple tree is just starting to bloom now. Anyway, I just wanted to show that off. I'm gonna turn this way so I'm not quite facing the sun. Anyway, first of all, I wanted to thank everyone who sent well wishes when I posted my community update that I was kind of out for a bit for a medical procedure. It was behind and stuff. I greatly appreciate it. The procedure was absolutely nothing. It was completely routine. It was scanned. If you go back a while in my videos, you'll see where I mentioned what it was. And it's something that comes to all. My issue was mostly that my stomach and my sleep were really messed up because of the scheduling and because of what it was. So I just needed a little bit of time to recover. But I'm trying. I'm way behind in videos. I'm way behind in comments. So I'm still trying to catch up. And today my kids have an orthodontist appointment, which is good because, as I said, my sleep is messed up. I slept through my alarm this morning. If there was a day that I was going to do it, today was a good day because my daughter's not going to school in the morning because when her school starts and when her appointment is, there wasn't really any point to go. And so I didn't have to take her to school. And then I'll just pick up my son in time for his appointment and then take him back. So I had a little extra time. Reading. So I finished a couple things. I finished The Levee by William Kent Krueger. I enjoyed it. I do wish I had read it. I will just say that. I just think William Kent Krueger is an author that I need to read and not listen to. Not that there was anything wrong with the narration. It's just that I want to sink more into his prose, and I can't really do that when I listen. I also finished The Feast by Margaret Kennedy, which I enjoyed once I realized it was not what I thought it was. What I had read about it, which was, marketing stuff, was it was like Agatha Christie and it was a golden age mystery. It's not anything like Agatha Christie whatsoever, and it's not even a mystery. You could kind of argue that it's a thriller, but it's not either. If you just look at it as a novel of its time, it's actually quite good. So once I settled in and realized what it actually was, I started to enjoy it more. So I finished that. I am going to DNF Family Trust. Just am not getting into it. A while ago, I tried to read Wang's Versus the World, and I DNF'd it for the same thing, as I couldn't get into it. It just, both of those books feel like knockoffs of Crazy Rich Asians to me, which I get it. Like when you have a really successful book, you try to copy the formula. I get that, but you need to do something different, or you need to subvert it in some way. And this just seemed like a knockoff to me, so it wasn't working for me. So I'm going to DNF that. I'm not sure what I'm going to start on audio next. My pre-order of Emily Henry's book, Happy Place, came in yesterday. I think that's when it was released. And so I might read that. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the Emily Henry super fan that most people are, although I have listened to all her books. They're fine. I mean, that's kind of where I am. They're fine. They're a diversion. I'm not super in love with her. I prefer her to, say, Taylor Jenkins Reid, who's another author who's I'm not wowed by. I mean, I don't dislike Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm just not wowed by her. Anyway, I might try that. I do need to start a re-listen. I have 2 books I need to re-listen to for various book club or book discussions. One is The Reading List by Sara Nisha Adams. The Booktubers are doing a discussion of that, and I've read it, but I need to listen to it. And the other one is Clarke and Division by Naomi Hirahama, which my other book group is doing. I've already read it, but I need to do a re-listen. That's really good. Both of those books are really good, so I do recommend them. But as I bet, it's been a while since I've read them, so I need to refresh. So I'm not sure if I'm going to start in on those or give Emily Henry, which I'll decide when it's time for me to actually listen to something. But anyway, I better go. I got to get my kids off to the orthodontist at some point. And I need to catch up on all my YouTube videos and comments. So I'll talk to you later. Bye. Good morning from my backyard again, because it's still nice out. It's like 50 degrees right now, which for us is nice. Things are still in bloom. It's so nice. I'm giving my kitty cats a little bit of outdoor time. She's an indoor cat, but she very much wants to not be an indoor cat. So she gets supervised outdoor time now and then. So I thought I'd come and do a little vlog while she does that. So, this morning, I'm taking kids to the orthodontist. I know I said that yesterday, but guess what? The appointment was today. I did not know that until I'd taken my son out of school and we went to the orthodontist, and they said, we're not expecting you until tomorrow. So, take 2 today. My daughter is still going to stay home in the morning just because of the timing of when her school starts. I'd be taking her out of first period, and it's it doesn't make sense for her to go to school and then just come right back out. So she's staying home until the appointment, but my son will go to school. But yeah, so that's my plan for today. Oh no, that's not my plan for today. This morning I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook, as one does, and I came across something interesting. If you follow this, you know that I love William Kent Krueger. He's doing tonight, this is Thursday, April 27th. Tonight he's doing a free webinar through a bunch of libraries, and one of the libraries in my library system is included. Just a free hour-long webinar with readers. So I signed up to do that. So I'm going to do that tonight. I'm really excited. And so yeah, that's going to be fun. A little bookish thing to do today. As for reading, I'm almost done with The Chalk Pit, which I think is the 9th book in the Ruth Galloway series. My Kobo says I have 53 minutes left. I don't think I have 53 minutes left, because there's 2 sample chapters of other books after it. And so I think that I probably have 20 minutes left, which is fine. After that, I'm going to read the new Napolitano book, the one that's supposedly but not really based on Little Women. The name I can't remember. It's Good Morning. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. anyway, I'm starting that because I have that out from the library. And then I haven't started an audiobook yet just because I haven't had a chance, but I think I'm going to do my rereads first. So I'll be doing the reading list by Sara, Nisha, Adams, because Booktubers are doing a book discussion of that at the end of May. I loved that book. I read that a couple years ago and I gave it either a 4.5 or 5 stars. It was just a delightful, lovely book. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. And then second weekend in June, my other book club is discussing Clarke and Division, which I also love, by Naomi Hirahama. Yeah, that's right. Discussing that. So that's gonna be my second, and then I'll do something new. So yeah, that's I had a lot of fun yesterday, and I'm sure it will continue today, watching people's reaction to the Women's Prize shortlist. The only book on the long list I read was Wandering Souls, which I loved. So I really had no skin in the game on this one, but it was funny because everybody was completely shocked and aghast and disgusted that Pod made it. The reactions were hilarious. I loved it. And now there's a part of me that's like mad that Pod made it when Wandering Souls or Bandit Queens, which I've heard is wonderful, did not. But now I kind of want to read Pod just to see how bad it is. I mean, little dolphin sex isn't that bad, is it? I don't know. So anyway, I don't know if I will do that. I put it on hold at the library. We'll see how I'm feeling when it comes in. I noticed that at least a couple of the books on the shortlist aren't available in the US yet. If I were really motivated, I could order them from Blackwell's, but I'm not really motivated, so I'll just wait till they're released in the US, and then I can get them from the library. And I'm going to hold off on reading Demon Copperhead because I want to listen to David Copperfield first, just because I hear it just makes the experience better. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get to that, but that's my plan. So as I said, I have The Marriage Portrait on my Kobo. I put Pod and Trespasses on hold. I'm more interested about Trespasses is another one other people either loved or hated, but at least there were some people who loved it. Whereas Pod, everybody seemed to hate it. So now I really want to read it because I'm curious. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, I'm gonna go. The cat's getting into a place where I can't grab her, so I have got to go. I'll talk to you later. Good morning again. I just wanted to let you know in the time that it took me to tape that last vlog, so for maybe 5 minutes when I was outside with the cat, my cat ate enough grass to puke 3 times in my living room. In fact, she would sit on a chair over the linoleum so she could puke over onto the carpet. So that's how my day's starting. Anyway, it's not that bad. It's easy to clean up, but whatever. I'm just like, come on, really? Anyway, I'm back to trying to catch up on all the videos I missed on the couple days I kind of took off while I was sleeping and doing everything I had to do for my thing. So anyway, talk to you later. Hi, welcome back. We're still on Thursday, April 27th. So I've got a couple things that have happened since like the 5 hours since I last vlogged. First, I finished The Chalk Pit, the 9th book in the Ruth Galloway series by Elly Griffiths. And that was an interesting experience. So 95% of the book is fantastic. Loved it. Solid A. But then the last 5%, maybe not even 5%, I'm going to say 5% just for math reasons, is like a C. And it was not because of the events of the book. I'm a little crooked here. I'm on my daughter-free setup. There we go. Not because of the events of the book. There was one event that's not tied to the mystery that was like, really? Are you really going there? But that's whatever. That was not part of the mystery. It wasn't the events. I actually felt the way that it all ended was really good. The mystery itself, the structure was fine. This was my problem. And it's so perplexing because Elly Griffiths is better than this. You know how at the end of mystery novels, you get I'm making everything shake. You get sort of the recitation of like how everything happened. So you have that. And then you have it again. Like another character does it, which would be fine if it was like the same event from 2 different viewpoints, which is what you would think it would be because it's different characters saying it, but it's not. It's exactly the same. So and then there was another element that they did the same thing through. So there's like 2 things where you just read the exact same thing twice. And it was very frustrating. And then it ended with an epilogue, which her books usually do end with an epilogue. that one it ended really nicely, which I can't really tell you how because it's kind of a spoiler, but whatever. It ends with an obituary of a character. That's not really a spoiler. It's a murder mystery. Someone dies. But the epilogue is A, super long for an epilogue, and B, it's like totally rushed and again, backtracks and repeats everything. Which again, we don't need that. We just read it twice. And then it felt like Elly Griffiths, this is the 9th book. And it felt like Elly Griffiths knew she wanted the 10th book to start and realized the 9th book didn't quite get you there. So she's trying to run and get to that point before the 10th book starts. If this had been the first book, probably would be like, whatever. But this is the 9th book in the series, and I have read other books by Elly Griffiths. This is not her. This is very uncharacteristic of her. So I was like, that's really weird. I ended up grading the book B+ because 95% of it was an A and 5% was a C, and that kind of works out to a B+. But it was just a really weird experience. So there you go. I finished that. Second thing, I'm a little wound up. This is not the second thing, but I'm a little wound up because I just got on a Facebook fight. I stay out of politics on Facebook except for one thing, and I know this will surprise no one, and that's book bans. Our governor posted something in honor of National Library Week saying how much reading was important to her. And then someone said, well, you liberals need to quit banning books. And I was like, what? What? And then the woman is nonsensical. She makes no sense. Liberals are banning To Kill a Mockingbird. They aren't. And how dare you have books about BLM and LGBTQ in libraries? That's book banning. Whatever. Lord help me. Lord help me. Anyway, there was a Facebook discussion about that, which she didn't like very much. But anyway, second thing. Sorry, I digress. The second thing was I saw the trailer for A Haunting in Venice, which is the next Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movie. So I was really perplexed by this because it is based on Halloween Party. Now, the thing is that I've read Halloween Party. It's not one of Agatha Christie's better books. It was written towards the end of her career when there are questions about she might have been dealing with some dementia. I didn't notice that. I just felt like it was a really simplistic mystery and really easy to figure out, which is very much unlike Agatha Christie. It wasn't that interesting. But the description of what they gave A Haunting in Venice was and Halloween Party, like, don't match up at all. Like, they're two completely different things. So I was really perplexed by this. But I want to say, once I saw the trailer, so I'm a little bit conflicted about the Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movies. Like, I like that he's bringing these movies back and he's reigniting more interest in Christie. I think that's wonderful. I kind of like that he's starting to update some of the things in Christie. If you saw Death on the Nile, there were some elements in there that he introduced that were probably good ideas. In one case, he didn't execute it well. Like, I'm sorry. If you have Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders in a movie, you'd better make them funny. They weren't funny. They had no jokes. It was weird. Like, why would you do that? But anyway, so I have some issues with his, but I also appreciate the fact that he's doing them. But I was really worried about this one. I don't know if worried's the right word. I was very perplexed and concerned. I am less concerned and more interested now that I have seen the trailer. And I will try to remember when I put this vlog together to link to the trailer. So it looks like the events of Halloween Party had happened before the movie starts. And this like happens at some point after that. But like the mystery of Halloween Party hadn't been solved. And they're like, this is After Effects. So it's kind of, this is what it is. It's Agatha Christie. Kenneth Branagh is making an Agatha Christie horror movie is what it is. I'm here for that. I mean, I know I don't watch horror movies, but I will watch this. And Tina Fey is playing Ariadne Oliver, and I'm for that, 100% for that. If everything else about this movie sucks, I will be happy in the fact that Tina Fey is playing Ariadne Oliver. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm going to go see it. It actually is opening on my anniversary on our, I've got to do math. Our 16th anniversary. So I know how my husband and I are going to be spending that, and we'll probably leave the kids. We took them to see Death on the Nile with us. My son didn't really like it. My daughter liked it, but whatever. We'll probably just leave them at home and we'll go see it. But so as I said, I'm feeling better about it. I kind of like the idea that this is a more original creation that Kenneth Branagh's doing. I think that will alleviate some of the issues I have when he adapts Christie. You know what I mean? Like it's something completely new, so you can't really compare it to Christie because that Christie doesn't exist. So he's doing his own thing. As long as he stays true, honestly, as long as he stays true to the characters of Hercule Poirot, he's like 70% there in the other characters, and Ariadne Oliver, which we haven't seen her in any movie before, so I don't know. As long as he stays true to those two characters, he really has a free pass with this movie because he's doing his own thing just with those characters, you know, with the characters from that book. Worried about? But we'll see. I mean, I guess if you're going to take an Agatha Christie property and really kind of go away from it and make it, you know, really just kind of use it as a jumping off point to create your own thing, I think Halloween Party might be a good place to do it because it's not a very good Agatha Christie book. But we'll see. I think if you like horror, you will probably like it. And the preview definitely looks like a horror movie. So we'll see. Anyway, I just watched that right after my little like setting people straight on Facebook about book banning. So yeah, so that's where I am. I'm going to start the Anne Napolitano book this evening. I am reading in print. I am reading a book by Nicole Baart. I think it's called Everything I Knew. No, that's Celeste Ning. Let me see if I can look up. One good thing about this setup is like I have my computer right here, and I can look up and see exactly what it is that I'm reading. So, hold on a sec. Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. It's a popcorn thriller. When I started it, I was really wondering if I was going to be able to read it, but yesterday I did, you know, had a better time with it. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading that, finishing that up, and then I will start the Anne Napolitano book. The name I cannot remember, and I just had it. Hello, Beautiful. Thank you. Why is that a hard title for me to remember? I don't know. I'm starting that tonight. I hear wonderful things about it, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm going to go read now. I'm going to digest things, and hopefully I will remember when I put this vlog together to include the link to the Haunting in Venice trailer. So there you go. And if you are someone, I'm always interested to hear what people think. If you're someone who has seen the Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movies, can you tell me what you think of them? And tell me if you're a Christie person. So I think that, I just kind of, as I said, I'm of two minds of them. I know that there's a lot of criticism, and I honestly think that criticism is valid. Maybe for me, some of that criticism isn't as important. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I think about it. I've also not forgiven Kenneth Branagh for cheating on Emma Thompson, but she, you know, totally upgraded, but that's a whole other thing. I'm going to stop now. Apparently, I just need to go read. I'll talk to you later. Okay. I just wanted to pop in. This is like my third or fourth vlog today. Anyway, I just finished my little William Ken Krueger webinar, and he said this in the webinar, so I guess we can go ahead and say it, but I'm very excited to hear that it sounds like a deal has been finalized, or there is a deal that's been signed off. He says, don't believe it till it happens. But there's a deal that they're making a Cork O'Connor TV series. This takes some of the sting out of the Three Pines series being canceled, stupidly, on my sides. So excited about that. It was a fun webinar. I love doing things like that. And I just happened to come across it today on Facebook. He had posted about it. So that was a great way to spend an hour on a Thursday afternoon. I am probably going to end this vlog now on Thursday afternoon. I just finished reading that Nicole Baart book, the Everything We Didn't Say, I think is the name of it. Let me look up the title again, because sorry, you can tell I'm holding my phone this time instead of having my little setup going, and the phone's going like this. Sorry about that. Let me, Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. You know, when you think about, I usually think about like 3 things when it comes to reviewing books or deciding what grade. First is like, what is it? What is this book actually? This one's a thriller. This is a popcorn thriller. Okay, so I need to think of it in terms of a popcorn thriller. The second thing is, what was my experience reading it? You know, it was fine. It was a slow go to get started in it. Once I kind of got maybe 30% of the way through, it started picking up. I was a little more invested. And then I did go back and read more just because I had to finish it. So, okay. And then what is the quality of it? So those are the 3 things I kind of think about. So quality wise, I wouldn't give this one high marks. The basis of it is there was, a woman returns to her hometown 14 years earlier. Sure, there was a murder. Her neighbors were murdered. And everyone believes, and the number one suspect was that her brother did it. Although apparently there wasn't enough evidence to convict him. So this has been going on. But she's coming back. She has a 13-year-old daughter who's there, who honestly is completely superfluous to the book. Like, she didn't need to exist. And then she's trying to figure out like who actually killed. Because if the brother was the number one suspect, he's not the one who did it. I mean, I don't even think that's a spoiler. I'm sorry. She tries to find out who is actually the murderer. I will tell you that I knew immediately who it was. It was not any surprise whatsoever. The relationship between the brother and sister made no sense. I mean, I shouldn't say made no sense. It was not realistic. It was not a brother-sister relationship. There's too many weird things with the family that just didn't... People don't work the way that they are portrayed in this book. It just that all didn't work. I think I originally thought, C+. I think I'm going to lower that to a C. Not a great book, but hey, got it off my shelf. So anyway, I'm going to end this vlog. I'll have like a little intro at the beginning, a little intro. I'll add an intro or a conclusion, and I will tell you what I am currently reading as of tomorrow, which is Friday. So we'll see how that goes. So that was my week. I want to thank everyone again for patience and understanding with the fact that I was kind of offline for a couple days at the beginning of the week. Everything's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just I'm still catching up. So if you start getting comments from me on like posts that came out like the beginning of this past week, that's why I'm still catching up. And I'm also still kind of trying to catch up with some comments. So I'm kind of behind on that. But I did want to summarize my week. Most of this was in the vlog, but this is just a quick summary. So here are the books that I finished this week. I actually had a really good week. I finished 6 books this week. I'm kind of surprised when I wrote it down. Well, I finished 6 titles, which I'll explain. So the first book title I finished was Snowflakes by Ruth Ware. This is a standalone short story. It was an Amazon Kindle single. As I said, I was stuck at a Girl Scout training for reasons I don't quite understand for 5 hours, and I didn't have a book with me, so I just downloaded that on my phone and read it. I gave it a B. It was good for what it was. Yeah, it was entertaining. It passed the time. The next book I finished was The Hike by Lucy Clarke. That is scheduled to come out on August 29th, 2023. Because that, I am not doing a dedicated review video. I did review it on Goodreads, but the review will show up on my blog on August 29th. But I gave that book a B. And if you're really interested in what I thought, I talk about it a little bit in the vlog, but you can also go to my Goodreads account to see what I wrote about it. And then I finished the audiobook, The Levee by William Kent Krueger. I gave that a B+. Honestly, if I had read the story, it probably would be an A. And that is not to say that the narration was bad by any means. It's just that I really love to just sink into William Kent Krueger's writing. And I can't do that in the same way with an audiobook. I just prefer to read him. So that's just that. And it's not available in print right now. So it wasn't an option. And then I finished The Feast. I probably should have pulled these books that I have in physical copies. Sorry, I didn't think ahead. The Feast by Margaret Kennedy, which it came out in, I guess, 1949. It's, as I explained in my video, it is not a mystery, and it is not like Agatha Christie. Get those out of your mind. People are going to tell you, or marketing, is going to tell you that's the case. That's not the case. So if you get that out of your mind, you'll have better luck with this book. And then I finished The Chalk Pit, which is the 9th book in the Ruth Galloway series by Elly Griffiths. Usually I gave that a B+. And usually a B+ is like Yay, B+, that's great. And this is actually a case where B+ is a little bit of a negative, because what brought it from it, there's a reason that it's not an A. And that's explained in the vlog. It's about the end. There were things at the end that, it wasn't even so much that I didn't like them. I mean, I didn't like them, but it wasn't even so much that I didn't like them, but there were things that Elly Griffiths did, and she's a better writer than that. And so I just felt that was really a detriment, which is what brought it down to a B+. The rest of the book was really strong though, which is why it's still a B+. And then finally, yesterday, I finished Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. I gave it a C. Honestly, at this point, it's already out of my mind, and I just finished it yesterday. It's popcorn thriller. I don't want to say that derisively, because there have been really good popcorn thrillers. I'm going to include that term. I'm going to quit saying that term, popcorn thriller. It is a domestic thriller. That's probably a better term. Popcorn thriller is a little bit derogatory. It's a domestic thriller. Strike popcorn thriller. But it didn't stay with me. There were problems, like the characters' relationships with each other weren't believable. There were things that just didn't make sense. So it's off my bookshelf. We can say that. It's going to a little free library. I did DNF one book this week, and that was Family Trust by Kathy Wang. I was doing that on audio. It seemed like a knockoff of Crazy Rich Asians. And this happens when there's a book that's really successful, that's unique in some way. You start getting, and it's really sad that a book by an Asian author is considered unique. That's sad in its own, but you start getting a lot of, and I don't even think it's people going, ooh, they wrote this book, so I can write one like it. I think it's more publishers going, oh, this publisher had great success with this book, so let's find other books like it. Which I think does everybody a disservice. But this book just didn't stand out. It was trying too much to be like Crazy Rich Asians. I couldn't get into the characters. It didn't stand out to me. Now, as for what I'm currently reading, I'm actually not currently reading Faithful by Alice Hoffman, but I will be starting it today after lunch. So I will be reading, and that will be in print. And then last night, I started the book whose title I can never remember. I have it typed down here because I cannot remember the title of this book for some reason. And that's Hello, Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. I want to say something about this book. And I can't even blame marketing for this, because it's not marketing. It's other readers. It has gotten out, and I've seen this in a lot of places and heard it on podcasts, all sorts of places, that this book is a retelling of Little Women. And it isn't. I heard an interview with Anne Napolitano on a podcast. I can't remember which one, but she was asked point blank about it being a retelling of Little Women. And she said, I didn't even consider Little Women when I was writing this. After I wrote it, I can see that there are similarities, because there's like 4 sisters, and there's, I mean, I'm not that far. I know there's 4 sisters and there's a guy. Like I finished chapter 2, so I don't know much of what comes after that. But it's just, there's books that have similarities, but it is not a retelling of Little Women. And I say that because I've also seen people post in discussion groups and such, being very disappointed to find out when they read it that it wasn't a retelling of Little Women, because they had heard it was a retelling of Little Women. That whole thing came from just people who've read it, and it's not accurate. Yes, if you like Little Women, you may like this, because there's similarities between the two books. It's not a retelling of Little Women. So there you go. But I am reading that. I finished chapter 2. I have no thoughts yet. And then I'm still working on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which I don't think I actually read it all this week. I think it was just a crazy week and I didn't get to it. So, but it's still going. And then I have 3 books that I'm hoping, or planning at least, to start this week. On audio, I am going to start my audio reread of The Reading List by Sara and Nisha Adams. As I said, I read this book about a year ago and loved it. And now Booktubers is hosting a discussion of it at the end of May. So it's been long enough that I need to refresh my memory. And I'm looking forward to reading it, because this was a book that really brought me a lot of joy. And then May, so Monday, Horror Mayhem starts, which means I will start reading my short story collection for the month, which is Other Terrors, an inclusive anthology. It has a lot of different authors. And then also I have Come Closer by Gran on my Kobo out from the library. I think that's a one-sitting book, and I will probably just read it May 1st to kick things off. So those books are on the docket for this week. And I wanted to look back a little bit for highlights for this week, just kind of maybe bookish and maybe not bookish. Great things. Spring is here. You can't see it, I am wearing shorts. The high today is supposed to be 84. It's supposed to be cloudy and rain later this week, but we're gonna take today because it's happening. There are blooms in my backyard. I'm happy, finally. Last night I joined in, and I mentioned this in the vlog, I joined in on a webinar with William Kent Krueger. It was, you hear noises, that's a garbage truck coming. We have great timing. Anyway, a webinar with William Kent Krueger. I love William Kent Krueger, and this was such a wonderful webinar. He's an interesting person. I want a couple highlights from it. Is one, he was asked a lot. He basically writes two different kinds of books. He has his Cork O'Connor series, which is like mystery, thriller, action books. They're really entertaining. I enjoy them. I've read the entire series, and that's a series that starts high, and at about the 10th book, instead of going like this, it goes like this. So it's a great series. So he writes those, but then he also has two that are out, and then a third one that's coming out in September of standalone novels that are much more, they're kind of historical and introspective, and he talked about the differences between writing those, and you know, he finds those books actually much easier to write because he doesn't have to conform to sort of the expectations of a genre, but also they're the ones that feed his soul. I thought that was really nice. And the other highlight, which I'm very excited about, I can't remember if I mentioned this in a vlog or not, but I'm going to mention it again. That he announced, and he did say, don't, this is not written in stone until you see it with your own eyes, but he announced that a deal has been made to make the Cork O'Connor series books into a television show. I don't know who's doing it. I don't know where it's going to air. I am just happy, and I beg that whoever airs it does not do what Amazon did to Three Pines and cancel it after one season. Amazon, I will never, ever forgive you for that. That's shame on you. I mean, that book got, I mean, the show got good ratings. I don't even know why they can't, it wasn't like nobody was watching it. Anyway, so I hope that that actually does come to fruition. And he said that, like, from the time his first book has come out, he has been working with different, and he, there have been times when the studios have backed out, he's backed out of things, but he really feels that this time it's going to happen. So cross your fingers. And in the meantime, you should try reading the Cork O'Connor series. It's really good. And then finally, the Friends of the Library book sale starts today, which is where I am heading after I finish this, or like half an hour. The library doesn't open until 10. And it's like 9:30 now. I'm heading over there, and I am going to buy books. Now, my goal is to buy books, but not increase my TBR. How am I going to do that? Because I'm going to buy two different kinds of books. One is I am going to buy books for my stash for sending out to Little Free Libraries, books that are banned or challenged. And I will be doing another video about that probably in a couple weeks, like a real video explaining what I'm doing. And I probably will go over the books that I have in my stash just so you can kind of see what I send out. So we can get those. I have found that the library book sale, so our library has a little like used bookstore, which is like it's little, that's always there. But then twice a year they do their big book sale. So this is the big book sale that's going on, but the prices are the same between the both. And I have found that's the most cost-effective way to buy books. I have purchased some books off Thrift Books, which can be a really good, you can get a really good price on books. You have to kind of shop. Sometimes you're going to get good prices, sometimes you're not, but at the library book sale, you're going to get the best prices. So I'm going to stock up on that. And then also I am going to look for library builder books. So these are books that I have read usually in audio or electronic form, but I want them for my shelf. So titles that are on that list would be, for example, The Reading List by Sara Nisha Adams, Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I mentioned in my May TBR that I'm going to read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I'm going to try and find a copy of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because I am going to, even if I don't like that book, because it's set in my hometown, it's going to go on my keeper shelf. Also, I already have in my mind the Instagram post I want to do, and it's not going to look good if I hold my Kobo up. So I'm going to try and find a copy of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So those are the two kinds of books that I'm going to buy. I am not looking to buy any books that will actually end up on my TBR. So, and as I said, there's a bonus after this video. After I get back, I'm going to show you what I bought for my library. I'm going to show you my library builder books. I will show you my stash books at a later point when I have them all, but that'll be on after this video. So stay tuned. So things that, and finally, things that are coming up in my life in the near future. I have two things coming up. One's good and one is. The first one, which is good, is Sunday, is my husband's birthday. I don't know what I don't know if we're doing anything special. I asked him last night if he wanted to do anything special, and he's like, so we'll see. He has a pretty restrictive diet. He had some health issues, and he has chosen to follow a restrictive diet to kind of keep them in check. So he does not eat things like cake. So there's not gonna be a birthday cake. Our church is having a potluck after church, and I've decided to call it a patluck. Pat is my husband's name. So we're gonna have a potluck. Not that he's gonna be able to eat most of the food. Oh man, I just realized I went to the grocery store and I was supposed to get stuff for my potluck dish and I forgot. I might have to do that later. Anyway, okay, side note about the grocery store. So I go to the grocery store and I always use self-checkout because they kind of force you to do it. And about once a week, I buy 1 can of beer. I am not a beer drinker. My husband's not drinking beer, but we have this recipe, and I'm mentioning it because it is bookish related. But it's a recipe that we make literally once a week, and it calls for a can of beer. And that recipe, by the way, I'm going to put a little card up. It is from Caitlin at Bandy's Books channel. It is her Chinese chili. I made this. My family loves it, so we have it every week, and give it a try if you so desire to. It's really good. But it calls for a can of beer, and we don't drink beer, so I always just buy this 1 can of beer. And of course, because I use self-check, they have to come over and check my ID. And so I always like joke with the guy. And he's like, "Are you going to come back tomorrow for another can of beer?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to come every day for a can of beer." And he's like, "Well, we close at 11. I'm like, "Okay, I'll keep that in mind." So now I'm sure if I go back today to buy more stuff and there's not a can of beer, he's gonna give me a hard time about it. So anyway, I have to go back. That's part of the potluck. It's part of my husband's birthday. That's all coming up. And the other thing is not this weekend, but next weekend, I am going for a night to Camp Yamhill Girl Scout Camp with our Girl Scout service unit. This was what the training was for that I went through. That was like 5 hours. I really don't know what is going to go on at this camp because my daughter's going to be a PA and her troop mates who are going are going to be PAs and they're going to be off doing their things. I don't have a job to do, so I might just be hanging out. And there's my friend who's a co-leader is also going. So I thought, oh, we'll just hang out together. It'll be fun. We'll just like have a girls' weekend and hang out. But she has a certification in archery. So I have a feeling they're going to make her work. So I won't even be able to hang out with her. Yes, I'm going to bring books. I am not a camper. I am going on this because our third adult who loves to camp couldn't make this one. And so I'm going. I usually don't do the camping. It's 26 hours. I'm going to be there for 26 hours. And during that time, there will be sleeping and eating. It'll be okay. I will survive. And I'm sure I will have I'll probably take a little video of it, but you won't see that until not next week's vlog, but the week after that. But anyway, those are the 2 big things that are coming up in the next week or so. So anyway, that is my week. And stay tuned because I will be back in just a second for you guys to show you what I picked up at the library book sale. This place is absolutely hopping. This is what happens when you go right when it opens. So far I haven't had much luck with the library builders I found so far, but I have gotten some books for my stash. And we have a line to the cash register. This is a great thing to see. Although I am probably going to be coming back again next week because they refill every night and hopefully it'll be less crowded. Okay, I'm back. As you can tell, I'm a little glistening. It's warm outside. Back from the library book sale. As you saw in the video, little clips I just posted, it was hopping there. Today is the first day of the sale. It goes through next weekend. Of course, next weekend I will be at Camp Yamhill. I'm missing the coronation because of this. I got feelings. Anyway. So I did want to do a little haul for books that I got for myself. So this is not including the books. There's a Barnes & Noble sticker on here that I don't like. These are not books that are going into my stash. As I said, I will cover those later. Although I did get quite a few. This was bad planning on my part, but I completely forgot that I get like no service on my phone in our library. So I wasn't able to pull up lists of books. So I need to, next time I go, which let's face it, might be tomorrow. I'm going to have to prepare a little bit with some lists of books. Their YA section is not very big. And then their children book section that I would probably be going to is also not big, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but whatever. And there are, as I would say, like if it's written by Toni Morrison, it's banned. If it's written by John Green, it's banned. You're safe on those. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about those books right now. I'm going to talk about books that I got for myself. Now, the big question is, did I increase my TBR or was I good? Fortunately, I increased my TBR by one book. And it's a unique situation. I'm going to take this off there. I don't like that. It's a unique situation because I bought this book. I was planning to buy this book and it would not have counted on my TBR, but it ends up that it does. Let me explain. It is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I'm doing a read along of this in May with Marcella and some other people. And I have been watching Kobo, waiting for the digital copy to go on sale. It hasn't gone on sale yet. And I knew if it didn't at some point, I would just have to buy it because I was going to have to read it online. So I bought this book kind of as a library builder book just to have. But if I'm looking at this print is such that I think I can read it. I don't think this is going to be a problem for my eyes. So because of that, I'm going to scrap the Kobo idea and just read it. So that puts it on my TBR. So that's what happened with this one. That's the one that it increased by. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I would have bought it next month anyway. I mean, I would have bought the Kobo version next month. So I got East of Eden, and then I was able to find, the one thing I do like, oh, this one's not coming off. I have to get the little library book sale tags off. And then this one also has the Ken Casey thing. It looks like whoever bought this at Paul's. But I got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was a book I was looking for. There were several copies, so I could choose which cover I wanted. Personally, I am partial to Penguin Classics, so that's the one I went for. This does not count towards my TBR because I already own this on Kobo. It's already been counted, and I'm going to be reading the Kobo version. I can tell you that right now. This is for my bookshelf. And then I got some cookbooks. I got 3 slow cooker cookbooks. I like to cook slow. It's easy that way. And I'm having some recipe fatigue. We've just been having the same recipes over and over again. So I thought I would get these and see what see if there's anything. And usually with my cookbooks, I go through them. And then, once I kind of feel like I've gone through all the recipes and tried the ones I want to try, I donate them back, usually. Unless it's like a special kind of cookbook. For example, I just got the Tasting History book by Max Miller, who I love. If you don't watch Tasting History on YouTube, you should. It's really fun. That one is one I'll keep no matter what. But I got 2 Betty Crocker slow cooker cookbooks. These are just sort of general ones. It's slow cooker recipes and more slow cooker recipes. There you go. And as I said, Betty Crocker Betty Crocker recipes tend to work. So I know that I don't have to worry about me making a recipe and it just not working. So those I have. And then I also got the 200 low carb slow cooker recipes. As I said, my husband is on a restricted diet for some health issues. And so he's very low carb and I'm starting to run out of low carb recipes. I think that's probably part of why I have recipe fatigue. So we're going to give some of these a try. And then this was the book that I checked out from the library, but I wanted to mention it because I keep saying, and this is The Other Terrors, an inclusive anthology. This is for Horror Mayhem. I wanted to bring this up because now I can tell you which authors are featured in it. A lot of them I've heard of, some I haven't, but these are the authors who are in here. Christina Singh, SNG, never heard of her. Jennifer McMahon, Alma Katsu, Michael H. Hansen, Denise DeMars, Usman T. Malik, Annie Neugebauer, Gabino Iglesias, Haley Piper, Nathan Carson, Shauna Heath, Tracy Cross, Linda D. Addison, Maxwell I. Gold, Larissa Glasser, Eugene Bacon, Anna Davila Cardinal, Holly Lynn Walrath, Stephen Graham Jones, that's a big name, Michael Thomas Ford, Jonathan Lees, M.E. Bronstein, S.A. Crosby, another big name, and Tanana Rivdue. As I said, a lot of these are authors that are new to me. They may be very well known in the horror genre. I don't actually read a lot of horror, although, you know, I like it when I read it. But the dedication for this book is for all those who have ever been made to feel other out there. We see you and celebrate your otherness. So I'm looking forward to this. I will start this on Monday. And this will be my short story collection, at least for the beginning of May. I think if I finish this early, I am going to pull out my yellow wallpaper collection by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, Gilman Perkins, whichever one it is. I totally forgot I had that. And then in someone else's like murder mayhem video, they mentioned the yellow wallpaper. And I was like, oh, I have that, I can do that. So might add that to murder mayhem or horror mayhem too. So anyway, this was just my library book. Anyway, that was it. And I am going to leave y'all now because I've been rambling. It's just rambles. And I got to prepare for the video that I am going to do this afternoon with my daughter. So I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.